Hey guys, back in the shop. I'm replacing the primary on my Pro XP. I went with a mother clutcher. I don't know how their Pro clutches are. I know a handful of people that have used them on the regular XPs, the 1000s and the 900s, and had good luck. So we're going to try it on this one. So let's see how it works. Looks like the primary is bolt on, but I guess I do need to pull the secondary off and change the spring out to a little bit stiffer spring that's included in the kit. So we'll get both clutches pulled off and put it back together and see if it gives me any better performance, or I guess similar to factory. Okay, we will start by pulling the clutch cover off, the air tube. It's basically just undo all these, which are mounted into the housing. So we'll get all them out of the way. Okay, the secondary bolt. If you're pulling it all apart, it's easier just to pull this off to get the belt off versus using a little tool threads in there to spread your clutch. Pull this bolt off and it'll let the clutch come apart. Just got to be careful. There's spacers in here, and on the back side you got to make sure you keep all them. Keep your clutches lined up. And then the primary, I believe the T60. I will verify that when I pull it off, but let's pull this secondary off. Okay, when you're pulling this secondary off, make sure these shims, you got to keep all them in order. Make sure the two clutches stay lined up. Okay, got the secondary out. My rollers look pretty good. We'll get it all blown out and clean before we put it back together. I got the clutch or the compressor tool there. I'm just going to tighten it just a little bit. Then we just got to pull these three out, loosen this off to where we can put this new spring in inside there. Okay, we're all pulled apart. Loosening the spring compressor. Be careful because the spring was kind of wedged down, so it didn't release tension until I had it semi-loose. So just make sure it's backing off as you go. We'll clean this out. This cup goes in here. A new spring. A new piece up top. And then we just put it back together, put the bolts back in. Be ready to go. I'm going to clean all this stuff up, wipe it off the rag before I get it fully back together. I'll probably hit these sides with a Scotch-Brite before I put it back in. They're pretty smooth. This one's got about 4,000 miles on it, so we'll do a little maintenance on it and make sure it's ready to go. Okay, got it back together. Since this is going into aluminum on this housing, I made sure to tighten these. They're all the way in finger tight to there. They were a little tricky getting started because the holes didn't line up perfect. Just to make sure you get plenty of threads, make sure you're not cross-threaded at all before you tighten them down. So we'll torque it down, take the spring off, or the compressor off, and then we're ready for the primary. Okay, now for pulling off this primary, on these Pros, this little shield on here, just to protect the suspension. If you pull that off, you can get your socket in there straight. And then you just pull that bolt out. Okay, got the primary off. With this new clutch, this plastic shroud gets removed. It's not used with this newer clutch. And then to pull the primary, you need to get this out. It's inside here. Lines up flush from the inside. But it's got a rubber O-ring that holds it in place. So in order for me to get it off, I had to pull these 6 bolts to pull this from the spring off so I could get this pulled off. And then I could use a puller, because the puller does not fit through that center hole. The new clutch will not use that center piece, and it doesn't use the factory bolt. And I guess this is actually two separate pieces, this primary on the Pros, to where this piece, they can come apart separately. There's nothing holding them together other than the friction right now. This is supposed to be a lot heavier duty. I guess we'll put it through its paces and find out. Okay, got the primary on. It comes with a new bolt, so it's not the Torx anymore. Okay, we'll get it threaded in, torqued down. Clean this off, put the secondary on and the belt back on, and we'll be ready to run it. Okay, primary gets torqued to 140, so we'll get that one torqued and then we'll do the secondary. Okay, so on the secondary bolt, these are the shims it came with. The new primary, we need to add these shims to it, I guess, so it stays lined up. It said add these plus the existings, so I'll get these and put the primary or the secondary back in, get the belt on, and see if it runs. Okay, went for a test drive. Seems to work really well. I think these little metal clips for the slides, I think they're a little bit noisy with the cover off, so I'm hoping that noise will go away. It's not real loud, it's just kind of a rattle. Which the whole reason for doing this new primary, you can see that groove in there on both sides down low. Last winter I put a spring kit in here, the new spring and new weights, and ever since I've done that I've gone through, this is my third belt I'm on now, where I made it almost 3,000 miles on the stock belt, even with larger tires. So I don't know if this spring and weight is too much for my secondary, or just happens to be the circumstance I was riding in causing this. So I figured I'd put a new primary on. This one's really chuggy at low end, so trying to like load it on the trailer or do tight maneuvers, it really doesn't engage very well. But I think it's because of those. But anyways, that's the new primary, new spring in the secondary. I hope it works well. We're going to be heading down to Mesquite for spring break, so we'll have a few rides from that. And I hope it works great. Hope we don't have any issues. So if you enjoyed, thanks for watching.